Okay, man, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Now, come on, now crank this motherfucker up.
Break it down like this.
Hello, Internet. Gino that Pinguino Greco here again with another episode of Deep Listens, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Welcome to the deep world of sports. Yes, we have taken all of the sports podcasts that you like, Balls Deep, the NBA show, Amateur Hour, the NFL show, and we've combined them. And by combining those shows, we've also been able to fit in other sports that we haven't covered in the past, like F1 and Sumo. So today, look forward to discussion on Formula One, sumo wrestling, the NFL, the NBA, and a little bit of CFL as well. So if you like this, I hope you do enjoy it. Let us know. It will help us from releasing multiple shows, multiple sports shows, clogging up your feed if you didn't like the sports stuff. We're not committing to a schedule for this, but don't expect it more than once a month. Our plugs, just a reminder, you can get in touch with the show, deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections, and deeplistenspodcast.bluesky.social. And you can support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. And without further ado, let's get into the deep world of sports.
Sports.
Hey, Internet. This is the NBA segment of the sports show. There'll be a name on the podcast by the time you hear this, for sure. And I am joined, as always, by Chris Zombie Pie Redacted. How you doing?
I'm happy to revel in the shambling corpse and tire fire that is the thing that we are about to talk about.
Yes. So to do this segment, this will be a pretty short one. We're going to singularly focus on one NBA topic today. So this should be a fairly short part of the show.
The season hasn't officially started, but boy howdy, has it started.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Let's NBA stuff's happening. The Los Angeles Clippers are a basketball team, ostensibly. They are ostensibly a basketball team.
They are also owned by, the fourth or fifth most wealthiest person in the world, Steve Ballmer, formerly of Microsoft fame, previous CEO of the company and a co-founder back during when Bill Gates founded it.
Mm-hmm. So Steve Ballmer, current owner of the Clippers. The Clippers have been, I think it's fair to say, a very beleaguered franchise.
Yeah, I mean, prior to Steve Ballmer, as bad as this is, at least Steve Ballmer does not appear to be a horrible racist.
That we know of, yes.
An improvement over what the Clippers had previously.
Yes. He appears to be less of a embarrassment than Donald Sterling, who was their previous owner. It would appear that there might be some issues with Stevie Ballmer running the team. So for those who are not aware of the current Clippers ongoing drama, ZP, do you have a timeline pulled up to get people up to speed on the current controversy?
So all the way back to when Steve Ballmer becomes the governor of the Clippers in 2014, he always repeatedly said that he wanted to make a big ol' splash about making the team a championship team immediately. Like, immediately. So he inherits, admittedly, to his defense, he has a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
He inherited a disaster because the Clippers were kind of a mess. And they were in transition. And so he decides in the year of our Lord 2019 to trade for Kawhi Leonard. Or not trade, but sign Kawhi Leonard to a 3-year, $103 million contract, which included an opt-out clause in 2021. Okay. That, Gino, does that sound like a great contract for Kawhi Leonard?
So Kawhi Leonard, by that point, in 2019, had played... How many seasons of healthy basketball had he really played?
It's difficult.
Half a season? So it was half a season of healthy basketball for the Raptors, winning a title.
Sure.
Then
but he won them that title. Let us not forget. That Raptor team was a carry job. Kawhi Leonard defeated a fucking monster in the
Well,
Golden State Warriors,
I would
and
say
that was
he
on his back.
and Kevin Durant's Achilles and Clay
Yeah.
Thompson's ACL won
And,
the
and even
Toronto
prior to
Raptors that
that,
title.
2013, 2014, the Revenge Tour was maybe the single greatest form of Kawhi Leonard we have ever seen.
On the San Antonio Spurs. So he
Yeah.
had been a top 5, top 10 player in the NBA, but for his last year in San Antonio, his full year with the Raptors, very injury marred. And so when
Mhm.
the Clippers acquired him, they were acquiring someone who we didn't know how much healthy basketball he was going to have left. His age said there should be plenty, but his body of work, let's say, did not reflect that. So they signed him to that contract. He has been healthy
Now,
for what, maybe 2 or 3 full years of his, what, is it 5 now
he
with the
only
Clippers?
prior to that, he only had 2 seasons where he played 70 games or more. He pressed it in the mid 60s in a good year,
Let's see.
averaging
So
that. Now, I will say this: Kawhi got hurt in one of the dirtiest plays I've ever seen my entire life. Zaza should have been kicked out of the league after pulling that shit, but
yeah,
that is what it is. We're here to talk about Kawhi. All
we
right,
are.
so we have to go a little bit back, Gino, because shortly after Steve Ballmer became the governor of the Clippers in 2015, the Clippers were fined $250,000, which is a drop in the pan for him, for offering unauthorized business investments and opportunities for their free agency signing of DeAndre Jordan. Trying to circumnavigate the salary cap to keep a player.
And that was what
Um,
year?
2015. Okay, let's flash forward to summer of 2019, where we start to get into information that Pablo Torres, who broke most of this news, said. In
Pablo
2019,
Torre.
Pablo Torre, sorry. In summer of 2019, Kawhi Leonard's uncle, Dennis Robertson, reportedly demand, hey, get this boy a $10 million no-show contract and endorsement deals. Point blank to ownership. Okay, so in that summer, July 9th, 2019, Leonard officially signs with the Clippers as a free agent. A few days prior, the Clippers traded a major package, which included future MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and also NBA Finals winner Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and a crapola ton of draft picks in exchange for Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess we'll now flash forward to December of 2019 when the Clippers were investigated for basically tampering, for
And
improper
where are you
requests
getting
offered
this?
to. I'm
Can
getting
you
this
just
from For the Win. That is For the Win, ftw.usatoday.com. So the Athletic reports that the Clippers were being investigated essentially for tampering, which means most people knew that the Clippers were doing something to retain Kawhi. Most people knew that. Most people knew it. So this investigation looked onto these guaranteed off-court endorsement deals offered to Leonard. Why would Leonard sign or extend with the Clippers for, I would say, not the amount of money that he was technically owed? And the Clippers were able to also bring in Paul George and a handful of other players. Generally speaking, not the full value for those players. Then it is in 2020 of December that Johnny Wilkes filed a lawsuit alleging he was owed $2.5 million if he helped convince Leonard to sign with the team in 2019. Now, Wilkes is going to claim that Ballmer would fund $100 million in a marketing campaign for Leonard if he signed there. NBA begins a second investigation into the Clippers, but eventually comes to the conclusion that there was no salary breach. Okay, the case was dismissed. Everything's good. All fine and dandy. So, 2021, Kawhi Leonard's extension comes through. It is 4 years, $176.3 million. That is, Gino, as you probably know, not all of the money that Kawhi would technically been owed or guaranteed for an
it would
extension.
be If he was going to get a maximum contract, a quote unquote max contract, he would get more than that,
Yes.
which
Which
players of his stature often get.
now, shortly thereafter, 1 month about, Ballmer invests in a company called Aspiration. He invests $50 million for less than 3% ownership or equity for Aspiration. Now, um, what did Aspiration do, Gino?
Well, you see, Aspiration, it would appear, inked, according to Pablo Torre's reporting, it appears that they inked an endorsement deal with Kawhi Leonard,
Bro,
which
I thought you were going to explain what Aspiration actually as a company did.
aren't
So
they like a credit, like a
they are a carbon credit company, but they did
carbon credit company? Yeah.
but essentially their strategy for carbon credit was to plant trees that were designated as high carbon removaling in land and then selling credits for the trees that they planted to companies. And they were upcharging because planting a tree is like what? A nickel, 10 cents, and they were charging $1 a tree. Now, if this sounds like a real dumb idea, it was because the company went bankrupt because people realized I could just plant my own goddamn trees. So,
Yeah,
yes.
it was a carbon
Now
offset thing, and for those who don't know, if you're not U.S. based, like there's some tax incentives and tax laws for getting these carbon offsets to offset the amount of carbon you're putting in the atmosphere. It's supposed to be a green energy or a green business initiative. But to your point, CP, if they are overcharging for the amount they are planting, it means that the financial soundness or sense of paying these people to do it just doesn't line up.
Now, this leads to some Clippers fans that are saying that, oh, Ballmer's just dumb. He makes some goofball mistakes. He invested in a company and didn't realize it. This happens all the time.
I think
He was a
something
smart
else
man.
we should say about this company is they invested $300 million, or they paid the Clippers $300 million to be
Mhm.
a founding sponsor for their new arena, and also I believe we're the jerseys patch sponsors for at least one of their seasons.
And then,
Um,
so Leonard becomes a spokesperson for Aspiration.
mhm.
Leonard then registers, and I cannot believe he fucking did this, a company called KL2 Aspire LLC in California. Now, you don't need to be a genius to know that Kawhi Leonard's initials are KL. And if you're a basketball fan, you know that he wears number 2. So
Mhm.
KL2 Aspire LLC. Now, this was a 4-year, $28 million endorsement deal with Aspiration. That's a
with
weird number.
with a $20 million equity stake as well in
Yeah,
stock.
which some people have done the math. It's still slightly below a max deal, but it gets them pretty close to a max deal.
NCP,
Um,
remind me again, how much did Steve Ballmer? So like Kawhi's getting 28 in cash and then 20 in equity, which is about $48 million in total compensation. How much did Steve Ballmer invest again?
50 million.
Well,
So
that's
he
weird.
basically, that's like, you get to keep $2 million. Just give me 3%
Allegedly.
stake. Yeah, allegedly. So the endorsement deal required absolutely nothing out of Kawhi. Well, it did. He had to like and retweet on Twitter at least 3 to 4 things that Aspiration put on their social media account on Twitter or Facebook. He had to make one in-person appearance during a conference and then one photo op during any planting thing. He had those 3 things. That's all he had to do. And
Well, he definitely did it, right?
he did none of those parts. He didn't even retweet their shit.
Oh, okay.
So, something that Pablo Torre has made very clear, if Kawhi does his contract, there's no fucking smoke.
Yeah.
He would have been pretty much okay. He just needed to do those 3 things. A photo op, go to a conference, retweet some shit like 3 or 4 times. Didn't even do it. Did not even do it. Full on no show, supposedly, allegedly. But it gets even better, Chino, because he's going to receive his first payment for $1.75 million. His quarterly payment was due in June in 2022. Multiple other people start to sign endorsement deals for Leonard, and some of them are associated with Inspiration, and some of them aren't. And he's going to get a second payment deal for $1.75 million in December 15th, 2022, around the same time that 20% of the staff was let go from Aspiration. So
Also worth saying,
Kawhi's getting paid.
He is getting paid. Aspiration at this point is deep in debt and having very difficult time making payroll. So he is getting paid while the rest of the company is, some of them are not. But they are still making sure to honor this no-show deal to Kawhi Leonard. So
yep,
you might be saying, well, they were laying off like 20% of their employees. $1.75 million, if they're deep in debt, where's that money coming from? Well, ZP, what happened about a week and a half before Kawhi Leonard got his second payment in December?
Another infusion of cash. So Clippers minority owner and alternate governor Dennis J. Wong invested $1.99, basically $2 million in Aspiration for the first time while it was in peril. And this person is Ballmer's college roommate.
Oh, well, he's a minority owner. Teams have tons of minority owners. How many minority owners do the Clippers have?
I actually don't know that number.
Oh, I do. One. Just him.
Oh, so it's just him? Okay,
it's
great.
It's just him. He owns 1% of the team. Ballmer owns 99%.
And Torre made the point of saying that this was not a rational investment because by this point, it was pretty well known that it was a broke company. Wong knew that, but then invests $2 million into this. Go ahead.
The only people who invested that month were the two founders of the company and Wong.
Yeah. So shortly after that payment, while more people are being cut, Kawhi Leonard gets another payment.
One more thing about that investment. So if you were thinking like, hey, maybe, Wong just didn't know, he didn't read the disclosures that are in the paperwork he signed for some reason, just didn't read it. Where do you think Wong's daughter worked?
For the Clippers?
No.
Kawhi Leonard's shell company?
No, even worse.
Aspiration?
As a project manager.
Cool.
So she actively was working for the company that was in the throes of bankrupt, like soon to be bankrupt. She worked there, according to Pablo's reporting. So if somehow there was something that wasn't getting out publicly, you would think that your family member working there might have given you a hint. So all of the legitimate, nothing to see here explanations for this seem pretty sus, let's say.
Yeah. I mean, every single time they got a cash payment from someone with the Clippers, the money came back to Kawhi Leonard first, and any other obligations the company had, like 13th. Kawhi Leonard wasn't even the largest investor of the company, but he always got paid.
It seems that there were injections of cash that then got prioritized to Kawhi higher than most of the other debts that the company had, and the amounts that they were given by Clippers staff, or by Clippers ownership, seemed to line up very well with the payments that were then going to Kawhi Leonard. That is where the reporting has taken us so far. So for folks who don't know, this is what is cap circumvention? Like, basically, for those who don't know how the NBA salary cap works.
So basically, teams are required to pay for players a certain amount, and if you go over that, you have to pay an additional tax for every certain amount of monies that you pay over the cap. Ballmer does not want to pay the tax because it's wasted money, because that money then goes to other teams, if I recall correctly.
And it also, if you go over a certain threshold, there's a thing called there are two aprons where if you go over that number, that amount, certain restrictions start getting put on your team. If you go over the second, there's a first apron, and most of that is just like like literally money that you're paying out the door, but there's not that much of a team building restriction. The second apron, if you cross that and stay above that apron of spending, they start doing things like freezing your draft picks, making it really hard to acquire players. You can't sign people. Like, it's really onerous to team building to be over that second apron. So having a player of Kawhi's ability, not taking a max contract, and when we say a max contract, it's like it's a percentage of the salary cap that a maximum contract is. So
Rather than
getting
a lump
player,
sum. Yeah.
And rather than a dollar amount, it's a percentage. So it moves up and down with the salary cap. It's really advantageous to have a player that good making that little, or making anything less than a max, really, with his level of seniority. So it's pretty sketchy that he would accept less. It really helped the Clippers out a ton that he took less, because the Clippers could take that money and then spend it on other players and stay under the salary cap. And they have James Harden taking a below market deal too. Well, not below market, but not a non-max contract also. They have a bunch of veteran players on the team, all of whom seem to be staying with the Clippers specifically. A lot of their finances work in terms of team construction because of Kawhi's deal. And that's something I need to make like super clear for those who don't understand the impact here. Like, the Clippers are a team flush with depth, flush with veteran players, and a lot of their salary cap only really makes sense because Kawhi isn't making so much money as he possibly could from another team. Like, they should not be able to afford what they currently have if he got paid market rate.
Sure. And also, it's important to say, well, some of these details are still up in the air, and one thing's for certain: Aspire engaged in fraud. The company was a shell. That the creators of Aspire, whether they wanted to get lopped in with this plan that Ballmer supposedly had, if proven and is still alleged, that just seems to be part of the process of people. This company was created to bilk people of money out of the, sale of trees. Now, what I will say is, Ballmer has been penalized for trying to circumnavigate the cap rules before. We've already talked about one. So this is why, like, the Clipper fandom's defense that he's just, a doofus is a bunch of bullshit. This man doesn't care. I think he looked at this whole situation as a business person and was like, what is the risk? What's the reward? What can we do to get around this? We've done this before. And he pulled the trigger. And boy, howdy, Gino, that the reporting this last week prior to recording this podcast sure does make that seem like that was the case. Because, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, it really looks like you've got a significant circumnavigation of the cap. I don't know what's going to come of it, right? There's an independent NBA investigation going right now, so we don't know what's going to come of it ultimately. But if it's found that they circumnavigated the cap knowingly, things like the draft picks could be frozen. There could be a significant fine to Kawhi. There could be a significant fine to the Clippers. They also could void Kawhi's contract. It could really ding the team for a good long while. It really looks sketchy. And I think we just should emphasize again, if Kawhi just did the things in his contract that it said that they were paying him to do, I mean, it's already a little bit sketchy because of the amount. Like, he was getting paid more than every other endorser of this company, which is weird because he's Kawhi Leonard, and other people that they had employed are like Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert Downey Jr. So there were other more famous people than him who they could have been paying more. It's a very sketchy situation. It looks really bad. And as someone, I think both of us have looked at the Clippers for a long while and said, oh man, the Clippers. Oh, you chuckleheads. But they're the gift that keeps on giving,
Here's the other thing. The NBA actually issued a statement a while back, and I do want to read this. So this is actual Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, which I think we're going to look back on as Adam Silver was limp-wristed milk toast, commissioner. The burden is on the league if we're going to discipline a team, an owner, a player, or any constituent member of the league. And then he goes on to continue. I think as with any process that requires a fundamental sense of fairness, the burden should be on the party that is, in essence, bringing those charges. So innocent till proven guilty. Here's what the collective bargaining agreement says, though. A violation may be proven by direct or circumstantial evidence, including but not limited to evidence that a player contract or any term or provision thereof cannot rationally be explained. That's it. That's the burden, my guy.
Yeah. And the burden of rationality here is getting higher and higher and higher. It's going to be harder and harder to meet. We shall see.
Let's say this, though. The Clippers don't get penalized. The league says there's no hard evidence. Are the Clippers actually a contending team?
No. Because,
so
in my opinion,
they've put all of their eggs in one basket, and they're one blown Achilles away with Kawhi just, not being able to play more than 50 games again. And, James Harden being pissed off that he has to do all of the offense again.
Investing a ton of your team's money in players over 34 years old or 32, 33 years old, it's just not a winning formula and never has been. And so I just don't believe in the Clippers because I think that Kawhi or James Harden or any number of their most key players other than Ivica Zubac, like almost their entire starting lineup is in their 30s. It's not going to work out.
Christ.
But did something new happen?
They found a second payment. Steve Ballmer invested an additional $10 million.
Yeah!
I'm going to send this to you.
Awesome.
They found an additional $10 million payment.
That's couch cushion money. But actually, for Steve Ballmer, it is couch cushion money, and that's...
Yeah, because he's literally a multi-billionaire. Again, one of the top 5 richest people in the world. So that's the thing, is like, other owners are looking at like, man, this sucks. We have someone who's literally like, kiss my feet because I'm above all of you. I don't need to play by the rules, is what I think Steve Ballmer's actually saying here.
That's what it seems
like.
I don't care.
I don't care. You take my draft picks away, I'll find a different way to do it, is what I think he's really saying. Do it. Hit me with the books. I don't care. Allegedly.
I mean, he could buy a lot of the rest of the league if he felt so inclined. And the rules
what he could do is he could sell the Clippers and then buy a different team.
Yeah. Oh, that's it for your NBA minute, I think. Thank you, ZP.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Literally in progress. Ha! Oh my God. They're not a great team. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I wouldn't... What? At best, it's like you get... What's their roster? You know what? I need to see this. What is their roster? We have to end on this. LA Clippers. What's the depth chart?
Like, what do you get for doing this?
I need this. I need this. Like, I need to know, like, what is the... Is this even good enough? It's not good enough. Like, this team's not good enough.
I think the problem is that you've just got too much on old players. And, like, I don't think that you can give this much of your salary cap to old dudes and think that it's just going to work out for you. It generally doesn't. It generally doesn't because they tend to get hurt.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Team roster. Let's see. They've got...
They still have Bradley Beal. Oh, right.
They just signed Bradley Beal. They have James Harden. They have Chris Paul. They have Kawhi Leonard.
They have Mo Bamba.
Derek Jones Jr., Chris Dunn.
How old is
Bogdanovich? Brook Lopez.
Bogdanovich is like, what, 32 at this point? 33?
John Collins.
Fuck? Chris Dunn?
Ben Simmons.
Nick
Batum. Patty Mills. Ivica Zubac.
Zubac was really good last season.
He was. It's just, what do you do? Your team old.
Drew Eubanks is here again.
Team is old and expensive.
It's like, really? This is what you got. You broke the rules for this.
It's not exactly an NBA retirement community. It's not that.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, thank you. That has been the NBA Minute. I will send it to whatever the next segment is, unless this is the last segment, in which case, you're welcome.
Sports.
Hello, Internet. We are here again with some more sports stuff. I don't know how to do these intros yet because this is going to be edited together, so I don't know if I should do the full intro or not. But regardless, I'm joined by Adam Borgmaster Redacted to talk all things NFL.
Football.
And I'm also joined by Tyler Grav Redacted to discuss football.
Yeah, football for me too, Gino.
American football, hand egg to those who are nasty. This is not amateur hour. We are now rolled into the greater balls deep sports hour. It's never going to be an hour. It's never going to be an hour. It's probably going to be 2 or something like that if I had to guess.
There's going to be 3.
Yeah, we'll see. But we've got 2 weeks of NFL action in the can, which means it's time to check in, see how everything's going, how our teams are doing, how things are going across the league. So why don't we start with Tyler? Your team is undefeated. I feel it's only fair to start with you. How are the Buffalo Williams?
Well, I don't think we could have asked for a much better start to the 2025 campaign. The Chiefs are 0-2. We already played our annual nail-biter game against Baltimore and came out on top in what was a game for the ages. We just beat the New York Jets handedly in their own building, so right now everything's coming up Buffalo.
To be fair, the Jets building is not defended. It is the castle with the door wide open. So I don't think that beating them there holds any special significance.
Under normal circumstances, Gino, I would agree with you. But in years past, no matter the outcome of the previous game, the New York Jets would always show up to play the Buffalo Bills. And for once, they just kind of rolled over and were the New York Jets while playing the Buffalo Bills.
They didn't access their secret stuff to suddenly become a real football team.
Yeah, like that.
Wasn't Justin Fields concussed?
He was concussed in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he played most of the game. The real problem was the Jets' passing attack. They have one professional wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, and then the rest of their wide receivers. I mean, even Josh Reynolds, their number 2 wide receiver, wasn't even healthy. So what few professional wide receivers the Jets had on their roster, they weren't playing some of them. And so there was just no one else to respect at all from a passing perspective. And Justin Fields continues to be Justin Fields. He's not a great passer. He's a great runner. He and Breece Hall are potentially a really monstrous running duo. But Buffalo is a good defense. You can't do that against good defenses. The Jets got away with it against a bad defense the week before in the Pittsburgh Steelers, but couldn't do it against the Bills. And also, the Bills score too many points. You can't just try to run on them all day long. You're going to just get outscored really badly. So you're feeling good about the Bills?
It's
Josh
hard to
Allen?
feel any bit better. A little concerned when he ran off the field with a nosebleed, but it could have been worse. Could always been worse. So I don't expect that will affect his performance this coming Thursday night against the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and I do have to say, during the Bills-Ravens game, midway through the game, when it appeared the Ravens would win, and I would win our fantasy matchup, I had Lamar Jackson, and I said, I really hope that Lamar Jackson beats you in both fantasy and real life. And he actually beat you in neither. So that was hoisted by my own petard.
Yeah. It does not pay to bet against the MVP of the league.
At least not until the early spring, late winter. Then it seems like you can do that, especially if the Chiefs are involved. But we're not there yet.
So now, last year the Bills concussed Tua. This year they've concussed Justin Fields. So next year they're going to concuss Drake May.
Oh,
For
hope
bold
not.
prediction.
Is coming for their craniums. That's what I get out of this. Like,
speaking of things you get out of this, your Pittsburgh Steelers, who you've always loved.
Hey,
Lifelong Yinzer.
1-1. We're 1-1. We are 8 wins away from 9-8. That we still have a lot of games to play, a lot of games to win. We have 7 more games to lose. That's how it is. We need to stop the run somehow. That's supposed to have been taken care of. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't know what the hell is going on with the defense, especially after paying Watt. But I guess he's on his last legs. I guess. So yeah, and then Rodgers likes getting sacked because he's 9,000 years old, and his joints
Craves
are
the turf.
calcifying.
He thirsts for the turf at this point.
And then our only hope behind him is Mason Rudolph. Which, look, if Aaron Rodgers can get us 5 wins before something horrible happens to him, I think Mason can get us across the line to 9-8. We just need to score more points, or they need to figure out what the hell is going on with the defense, and just stop the run already. And also just put Caleb Johnson on the practice squad, get rid of him. Like, we need an actual running back to have our own run game.
You have Jalen Warren.
Yeah, with Jalen Warren. The end of that Seahawks game. There's a lot to figure out there in Pittsburgh. But we're 1-1. We are well on our way to 9-8. The next 3 weeks should be easier. Should allow us to figure something out, figure anything out. With this
no shame. You ran into Sam Darnold, the king of early season football.
Yeah, the Seahawks better win their division at this point, though. That division does look like they're going to finish with all 4 teams somewhere between 7-10 and 10-7 again.
I just don't understand how a team that has Aaron Rodgers as their starting quarterback goes into the season with Mason Rudolph as your only other quarterback option. You couldn't pay any of the journeymen. You couldn't get Jameis Winston. You couldn't get Tyrod Taylor even.
Jameis Winston? We want Jameis Winston?
I'm just saying, like, Mason Rudolph does not seem like he's not a very accomplished backup. I would rather have someone who at least at some point in their life has been a really interesting quarterback or like has displayed competency when the keys have been turned over to them.
Well, once Will Howard and Skylar Thompson are healthy, those will be better backups. We just have to keep Old Man Rodgers alive until then. Which this O-line needs to. Yeah, the O-line needs to improve. We need to stop the run. But we have 3 easy weeks coming up, so hopefully that can get figured out.
Mason Rudolph started 8 games for the Steelers 6 years ago. That's what we're working with here.
I know.
His highest QBR ever was 72.
I know, but it does seem like the O-line likes him better this year when he plays. When they put him in for a few plays, the O-line actually protects him instead of Aaron Rodgers. So who knows? Once Rodgers gets turned into a pretzel at some point, who knows?
It's just interesting. I don't quite understand the team building decisions that have been made there.
Well,
but
I think there's still plenty of time to rectify that issue. You have Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. You have Jameis Winston, and I believe he's with the Giants still, right, Gino?
Yes, He is.
Yeah, and who knows? There's maybe like 2 to 3 other guys. I just can't think of their names that are still out there. So I think Pittsburgh has time to add a little bit of depth to that QB position.
Yeah,
They
and
probably do. Like if anything goes sideways with Russell Wilson or the Giants situation deteriorates, but like many of the options you get now are not appealing. Like I just don't understand how you trade like you traded George Pickens and you didn't even get like Trey Lance back or something, more exciting
Yeah,
at backup QB, something.
you traded
it's odd.
George Pickens away, but you brought in DK Metcalf. I mean,
yeah, it's
in
good.
my opinion, that's a clear upgrade. But wouldn't it have been better to keep George Pickens? Like to me, it felt like Pittsburgh was going to go all in, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, well, let's walk it back a little bit.
Yeah, having the current crop of receiving talent and offensive talent, and then also old man Rodgers, it's not like he's dealing to even what the Jets had last year with Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. Like he's got a lesser set, and Brees Hall. Like last year's Jets were a more frightening offense than this year's Pittsburgh Steelers, and Rodgers wasn't good last year, even with all that help. So we'll
Rodgers is
see.
better this year than he was last year, at least
Is he?
So far, so
so
far.
far. Until he gets turned into a pretzel. Look, we'll play Mason Rudolph for a few games, and then bring in Will Howard. We'll win some games with Will Howard, and we'll get to 9-8.
We shall see. It is the Steelers' way to somehow get to 9-8. So we'll see.
So speaking of having a bad time,
I don't know. I'm having a pretty good time. The New York Football Giants they are 0-2, but they showed a sign of life last game against the Dallas Cowboys. They lost in overtime, but boy oh boy, they put up a lot of fantasy points. And as someone who has um, their two starting wide receivers in a fantasy league, that won me the week. So that was pretty sweet. Um, Russell Wilson looks. I mean, he's cooked. Let's be real, he's cooked. But the Dallas defense is so bad that he was able to put up a ton of points against them. The Giants at least look like a team that if they had a competent quarterback, they now have enough skill position players to not just be a disappointment and an embarrassment, which is better than they've been the last 2 years. Their offensive line does not appear to be as awful, but we'll see. It's still early. They've played one okay defense and one awful defense. But I mean, also the Giants' defense doesn't look abysmal. It looks competent. So I'm hoping for an unembarrassing losing record at this point. Does that seem fair?
that seems hopeful.
I'm
Given the
not
Russell
sure.
Wilson experience.
Like when it comes to the Giants' defense, I'm seeing you guys as like 28th overall. I mean, pass defense is, it's not great, but it's respectable. But the run defense seems like a major issue for you guys.
It'll sort itself out. I think Dallas's offense is good.
Yeah.
I think their offense is actually pretty good. So we'll see. Who do the Giants have this week?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, that'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll go great. Make it Chiefs 0-3. Why don't you?
I mean, the Chiefs' offense is not good right now, but they should still be able to beat the Giants. Their defense is too good. I expect them to beat the Giants.
We can expect Russell Wilson to get sacked like 7 times.
Yeah, something like that. I expect that to be bad.
So I think the question on everyone's mind, Gino, is when do we see Jackson Dart?
I think midway through the season, probably see Jackson Dart.
Okay. Do we see Jackson Dart before Dable and Schoen get fired?
I would guess that is we do because they see that as their way to not get fired.
They're not going to bring Dable in just to fire him mid-season. Like they'll give him at least 2 seasons.
Dable's been there for a while.
He's been there a while. He's been
Yeah,
there
this
like
is
3-4 seasons now.
yeah.
Wait, then who? Oh, Vrabel. I'm thinking of Vrabel.
Yeah, Brian Dable.
Vrabel. Oh, okay, yeah. They sound. It's the same.
Football player names.
Yeah.
Football man names. Major storylines here. Speaking of the Cowboys,
Jerry Jones, because he personally did not like Micah Parsons' manager, decided to trade him to Green Bay for 2 first-round picks, which for Micah Parsons is almost nothing.
if you're going to trade the best pass rusher in football, you usually want better assets than that, and maybe something in the present, or lots of picks, not just a couple. But Jerry Jones trying to sell that he really wanted the defensive tackle that they got back in the trade.
Clark, yeah, who's on his last legs as
Yeah.
a DT, yeah. So that was a massive story before the season started, and now whenever I'm watching the Cowboys, I'm like, wow, they sure could use another 10 or 12 pressures per game from their defense.
Yeah, I mean, this is blowing up spectacularly in his face, especially when you watch that Green Bay defense now. They're just suffocatingly good.
It's dominant now. Like they have now ended up with a dominant defense in the NFC, which is going to carry them well into the postseason, most likely. Like just gave Green Bay the ability to make a run for the NFC Championship.
Yeah. I think they at least now are capable of competing with the Eagles. I really do. I might have to walk that back, but for right now, I believe it.
Yeah, I think that Green Bay is probably the best team in the NFC currently, close to it. And then it's probably the Ravens and the Bills in the AFC.
Yeah. I mean, the NFC you still have the Eagles and the Lions.
Yeah, but I think Green Bay's still. I think Green Bay's better than them.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay just rolled Detroit week 1.
Yeah, and that was wild. But then Detroit went and beat the living tar out of the Bears.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean, it's good that they're still able to beat those bad teams, but you just lost against a playoff caliber team badly.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see who rises to the top in the NFC. And smart money is on the Packers.
Yeah, Jared Goff, putting up ridiculous numbers in a dome at home against a bad team is like the whole summation of Jared Goff's career. I don't trust that as much as outdoor games against better competition, because he eventually has to play some of those in the playoffs. And it usually
we'll
goes poorly.
see how the season goes for them. But everyone's getting wins off of the Bears and Vikings in the NFC North.
They are.
Most likely. Oh, boy.
Any of the new coaches jumping out to you as doing an especially good or bad job?
Somehow I think Liam Cohen might be the best grab for a new head coach.
And what team does he coach?
Jacksonville.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, he seems to have done a pretty good job with their running game, although they aren't winning games.
No.
They aren't winning games, but they're putting up. Well, they're putting up just like your Giants. They're putting up respectable performances in their losses, more so than last year.
That's true.
So if anyone can, if anyone, I don't know if anyone can pull that organization together. But he's gonna do better than probably anyone would have thought to try to build something with that roster, which you think he should be able to do. But then Trevor Lawrence is going to be Trevor Lawrence, so that's something to keep an eye on. As far as losing teams go, is how well Liam Cohen going to lose.
I think another standout for me is Kellen Moore down in New Orleans. Now, the Saints are 0-2, but I feel like it's a respectable 0-2.
Much like the Giants.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like in both those games the Saints were in it. They weren't getting blown out. So I think Kellen Moore, for the moment, has my vote.
He's been. I think that New Orleans has way less talent overall than Jacksonville. So the fact that the Saints have been able to be in 2 competitive games, I'm a little bit more impressed by in terms of coaching job.
Also, the Jaguars are 1-1, not 0-2.
Oh, that's true. But didn't they beat the Panthers in week 1? That's not
Kitty ball.
that's not a real team.
Yeah, but real teams should beat the Panthers. I
Yes,
mean,
that's true. It's not dispositive to say, oh, they beat the Panthers. Well, it would have been way worse if they lost to the Panthers. So
it's proof your floor is above the Panthers' ceiling. Let's put it that way.
Considering where the Jags were
Yeah.
last year, they're on the upswing with Cohen. The 2 big name coaches don't seem to be doing great. Aaron Glenn over in the Jets had to make an example of someone week 1.
who? What happened there?
I forget the name of the guy.
He
Just
dropped.
fired a guy.
Yeah,
like, after the
it
first
was
game.
their. I think it was like their punt return or kick returner guy. He had like a huge drop that allowed the Pittsburgh Steelers to like get the go ahead score. So the guy got released, and as a to set an example that mistakes will not be tolerated.
And then they
like,
learned that lesson so well that they beat the Bills, right?
Uh, well, if Aaron Glenn sticks to his guns, half the team is gonna get let go here in the next couple of days.
Yeah, so he already had to do Roman decimation with the Jets after 1 game. It's not going to be a pretty year for Glenn up there in New York.
Yeah,
And then I keep blanking on his name, Ben Johnson
correct.
in Chicago. Is well, it's the Bears. I probably give him a couple years to see if he can pull that thing together. Because it's not going to be an immediate job.
No, they have bad running back play and a bad offensive line, and it doesn't matter how many receiving weapons you give Caleb Williams if he has no time to do anything. It doesn't. You could give him all the weapons in the world. It doesn't matter. And this continues to be a recurring theme with the Bears. Is giving their young quarterbacks no pass protection and then having them run for their lives.
Yeah, so we'll need to give him like 2 years probably to figure out whether he can do anything with that team. And then and Schottenheimer, like, there's nothing about him, I don't think, over in Dallas. I mean, other than getting the legs cut out from under him by the owner.
Yeah,
I mean, they played a good game against the Eagles, and they played a good game and came out ahead against the Giants, so that's something at least.
yeah. And the thing that he has in his favor is he's not Mike McCarthy.
He's also not Mike McCarthy, so he'll be given at least 2 years to see if he can do something.
Yeah, I mean,
So, have any of the new QBs jumped out to y'all as being especially good or bad?
Cam Ward's getting the living shit beat out of him as like a ritualistic hazing behind the Titans O line. Poor guy.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great stuff.
No. Are they going to ruin another quarterback? TBD. Is he going to suffer until he can get out of there to a real team?
Probably.
Be another Baker? TBD. Yeah. So we all feel bad for Cam Ward.
Yeah, the corpse of Joe Flacco continues to play in a Cleveland Browns uniform. He had 1 okay game and then 1 bad game.
Meanwhile, Dylan Gabriel and Shooter Sanders are just existing.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're following Joe Flacco, trying to sense a moment of weakness. They're putting banana peels in front of the old man, trying to get him out of the way, but it hasn't
Like
happened yet.
like hyenas with an old lion. Yes. Uh, JJ McCarthy's already injured. He went 1-1, and now he's out for who knows how for however many weeks. Uh, it's his second year. He's played 2 games and gone 1-1. Uh, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we can say a new quarterback, but Joe Burrow is out for the next 3 months. So the Bengals are playing with a backup quarterback for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
So we'll see how that goes.
This is Browning's time to shine.
Correction. This is Browning's girlfriend's time to shine, man. I don't know which social media you follow these days, but she pretty much took over the Cincinnati Bengals Twitter account.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh
Sure.
yeah,
Why not?
yeah. So expect to see a lot of Jake Browning's girlfriend when watching
He just has the
those
one.
games. Yeah.
I just want, as a noted Brock Purdy hater, the fact that he went out and then Mac Jones immediately came in and was absolutely fine running the 49ers offense, I think a point in my column, shall we say?
For now.
Now?
I mean, that's the Mac Jones experience. He starts out great and then he just, fades away into nothingness.
We shall see. I'm just saying, we thought the same thing when Jimmy Garoppolo went down and Brock Purdy took his spot. It seems like almost every person who's the quarterback for the 49ers is at least fine. Except for Trey Lance somehow.
And then we also have Gino. He's not new, but he just moved to Las Vegas, and he's doing okay. I mean, the Raiders are not last. The Raiders are second in that division right now.
Yeah.
I think, no, they're third.
Third.
They're
They're
third.
0-2 too.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is ordered wrong on ESPN. Okay, yeah. So they're third. They're 1-1, just like the Broncos. Below the undefeated Chargers. Just the entire division has flipped, and I hope that stays that way because it'd be very funny.
It would be.
And
So
then
there's one other new QB I feel we should talk about, and that's Daniel Jones, who you all have to apologize to. Both of you say nice things about Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is the greatest quarterback the Indianapolis has seen since Peyton Manning left.
Andrew Luck.
Oh, I keep forgetting about Andrew Luck. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
since Andrew Luck left.
Since the guy who retired to protect his brain.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
mean,
yes. Danny Dimes is the first 2 weeks MVP. It turns out he can play football when he wants to. Maybe
It's weird. They put him behind a competent offensive line and then gave him receivers, and all of a sudden he looks competent. Weird.
so.
Man.
So we'll see how well this lasts. If this will be like they look amazing for 3 or 4 games, and then everyone figures out what's going on at Indy and then shuts them down. Or if he goes on a magical Darnold run to the playoffs.
yeah. So I have my EPA data up in front of me, and just as a refresher, EPA stands for expected points added, and basically what it is, it's a statistical metric that measures on a per play basis. As you run plays, are you more likely to score points or not? So it goes Buffalo, Baltimore, Indianapolis, and then Green Bay. So right now, Danny Jones, I'm going to start calling him Indiana Jones, has the Colts up there with the likes of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So that's crazy to me.
So way overperforming. We'll see if they return to median or if they go on a magical run to the playoffs. Either way, I guess Tyler cannot be vindicated in the Texans' collapse. In the
Uh,
standings, at least.
yeah. Feels good. Feels good.
Also, like Tank Dell and Mixon are still injured, so like that's a very injured team in Houston right now.
But to me, it always comes back to Stroud. I mean, that first season, he looked so good just because he was kept chucking the ball down the field, and those receivers kept coming up with it. At some point, you have to learn how to read a defense and like march your team down the field by throwing to your slot wide receiver, checking down to the running back. Yeah, I mean, you can't live on the deep ball forever because eventually that will get taken away. And I'm just not seeing that progress out of Stroud. I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
Definitely fair.
So we'll see if they're still a playoff team somehow this season, since they have a magical Colts to compete against for the first time in a while.
What do we
So
think? Which teams? Is it too early to say that some teams are collapsing?
the
Do we
Dolphins are
think that?
collapsing.
Oh,
The Dolphins are collapsing.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, their
It is a
defense might be the
complete
worst in
total-
the league.
It is a complete and total collapse. Their head coach, McDaniels? No, that's not McDaniels.
Yeah,
Mike McDaniels.
Yeah,
Mike
McDaniels.
McDaniels.
Yeah, he's gonna be fired before week 10, which is sad because he's a likable guy. Hopefully, he'll get a coordinator job somewhere and have a better life like that. But yeah, no, that team's collapsing. It's so Jover.
Yeah. I mean, everything I hear out of Miami is he's already lost the locker room. Like when the players that, were his guys, the people he brought in are, coming out against you, it's just a damning look. I mean, you have 2 losses against 2 bad football teams. They lost against they lost against Indy, and they lost against the Patriots. And their next schedule is Bills, Jets, Carolina, Chargers. So they're looking at a 1-5 start to the season. I just don't see Mike McDaniel and GM Chris Greer surviving to the end of the season.
Yeah, so they're going to start a painful rebuild, I think, after this year down there in Miami, which will now make it 3 out of 4 AFC East teams who will be in the middle of a rebuild next year. That must be nice, Tyler.
I don't hate it. I would prefer it if Mike McDaniel stayed in that position forever with Tua. Sign him to both 15, 20-year contracts, man.
And so the Bills can just keep concussing Tua over and over again.
Not concussing. I'm not heartless, but I think Josh Allen is like 15-1 against the Miami Dolphins.
Very satisfied with that. Yes. The Panthers have not. The Panthers look like they did at the beginning of last season, not the end of last season. So
Yeah.
they've regressed.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
that's
I would call it
disappointing.
I don't know if I would call that a.
It's not.
collapse.
It's not a collapse, but it's. But they're supposed to be third in division, and they're going to end up being fourth in division probably. So it's an unexpected regression there. The
At least
Titans.
Tedero
I mean,
McMillan looks good.
oh yeah, and there's always Chuba. And then the Titans. No one thought they would be good, but if that line keeps letting their new supposedly franchise quarterback get murdered, this is probably the last year for their coach. Callahan? Is that the guy? Titans?
Yeah, I think it's Brian Callahan.
Brian Callahan. Yeah, this is probably his last season there. And then the Browns are just the Browns.
Yeah, it's not a collapse. They just continue to be the Browns.
Yeah, they're just the Browns. And of course, the Chiefs, complete and total collapse. Is 0-17 record for the season.
Oh man, one can only hope. Hey, I said it earlier. Teams that go at least 5 games above win expectation, that comes back to bite them in the ass next season. So the Chiefs are getting their just desserts for all those BS games they won last year.
And also,
it's a bad sign when your team has like T-shirts before the game demanding that your player who's suspended for causing a major traffic accident while speeding to be like released from your suspension early because you just have no receivers.
No, he belongs where he is.
I know. I'm just saying, like, it's a bad sign when your move this early on in the season is set our driving boy free so that we have a wide receiver who can get open.
It's yeah, and also I think the last time they lost the Super Bowl, they didn't go back to the Super Bowl the next year. If I recall, after Tom Brady got them, it was Joe Burrow's turn to win the AFC Championship. Mm-hmm. So there's just the hangover from losing the Super Bowl, plus regressing to the mean, plus all of their players are injured or suspended or in prison. Plus Kelsey is old, needs to retire, and he's going to be Taylor Swift's house husband this time next year.
Yeah.
Do
you want to go over any major injuries?
See, there's Burrow with a turf toe. That's rough.
Austin Eckler with a torn Achilles. He's probably done for his career, I would guess.
I think Khalil Mack for the Chargers has a significant arm injury. He was a big part of their defense. So that's going to suck to lose him.
As of the end of week 2, I think Jane Daniels is questionable already for the Commies.
Yeah, he was. And then JJ McCarthy has an ankle injury until morale improves.
Yeah,
it appears.
And of course, Justin Fields is concussed.
Yes.
Yeah. Brock Purdy is out for how long did you say, Gino?
I'm not sure how long Purdy is out. I believe he's got turf toe.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I thought it was Burrow that got turf toe. Did they both have turf toe?
Burrow is getting surgery for a toe injury. I don't know if it was turf toe.
I think it's turf toe. It's like 3 months. Like they're gonna be with Browning for a while. This might be. This is gonna be real bad for Burrow. Purdy, I think, was less serious, his injury. But yeah, so we already have like half a dozen injured quarterbacks. It's only been 2 weeks.
Yes, this is a less serious turf toe than what Joe Burrow had, and 2 to 3 weeks was the expected outage.
Yeah, so this is going to be another 2023. There's going to be so many backup quarterbacks starting. And just pure chaos because of that. So, yeah, that's probably going to be a major story throughout the year, is just everyone getting injured.
Yeah. So, this season, we're doing something for the first time. We have our Deep Listens Fantasy Football League. I believe I am 0-2. Tyler, you are 1-1.
No, the Gingerbread Men are 2-0 and will be competing with the number 1 team in the league for that number 1 spot this week. So,
One Life is going to curb stomp you. I'm sorry. He's curb stomped everyone so far. And yes, no, I'm the one who's 1-1. So actually, just like our teams, we have the same record as our teams.
I need to say, Adam, you perpetrated one of the greatest draft crimes I've ever seen in an 8-player draft. took the Packers defense in the second round. You took Josh Allen in the first round, and then the Packers defense.
Woohoo!
So,
And you continue
here's
to
the
make
thing.
trade attempts that I will
Uh-huh.
veto continuously.
and I'll keep making them. So here's the thing. No one told me what the etiquette was or the meta was for fantasy football.
No one told you it's publicly available information.
Why would I research this? There's no money involved.
You think I should train you? Like what?
Sure.
No. Go read your own shit. Figure out what you need to do. Somehow you taking Danny Dimes has worked out.
Oh yeah, that was a good idea on my part.
I very much enjoyed, Tyler, you trading for Isaiah Pacheco and then immediately dropping him.
I just wanted Adam to have Chubbard Hubbard or yeah.
Oh,
Howard.
you were also circumnavigating to prop up his team. Okay, I see.
What?
I mean,
well,
it's not prop up because like Chuba's putting up normal numbers. I just like Chuba.
yeah, and Isaiah Pacheco. I wanted to see what he did that first game. It wasn't much, so I'm already exploring other options. That, and I think deep down in his soul, Adam is a Carolina Panthers fan.
There's story behind that, but yeah. And also I'm just treating this like football trading cards. Where it's like, ooh, I like that guy. I'm gonna get that guy. The foil Jake Bates card.
Yeah,
For
and,
example.
and Gino, I will have you know, Adam was willing to trade me Josh Allen, and I said no because I just want to make Adam watch every Bills game this year and watch him win ridiculous matchups just because of Josh Allen.
Even though Josh Allen did shit numbers game 2.
Hey, you have to understand, after he has a Superman game, he needs a Clark Kent game to recover, okay? I mean, Superman, at the end of the day, he still needs to work at the Daily Planet to make money to live indoors. Sometimes you have to trust the cast of the Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and what is it, Elastic
Martian
Man?
Manhunter.
Yes,
Martian Manhunter. Okay.
to get the job done, okay?
But I'm also going to bench Khalil Shakir because he isn't doing jack shit.
Well, he's their slot receiver, so I can't fault you there.
As of right now, Gino is at the bottom of the league, last place, with his blitzball reference, which is where that belongs.
The league is long. There are many weeks ahead. I'm confident that I will pull it out in the end.
Yeah.
And my team will of course go 9-8 and into the playoffs somehow.
And my team will hopefully win the league and the grand prize at the end of the season. Quick question, Gino. How do you feel about Mill Sims?
What Sims?
Mill Sims.
What is it? Like a mill? Like making grain?
I think I'm going to enjoy making you and the panelists play this variety of game. Then you don't even know what it is.
Do you mean like making grain? Like a mill?
No.
All right, yeah.
Oh, God.
So all you have to do is beat Lone Life, and Lone Life is a murderer. So good luck.
Hey,
Okay. We'll see. We'll see who comes out ahead. How are your models doing? Show me your models.
Oh, on the first date? Wow. So the preseason model did really good week 1, as you expect. It went 14-2. Ended up in the top 1% of all teams in ESPN Pick'ems. Kind of got the crappy out of it this last week. It went 10-6. And the IR adjustment is interesting because when adjusting for how injured the teams are, it flipped the outcomes or I guess the predictions for 6 games that were, I guess, toss-ups going one way or the other. And of those 6 games, it hit for 4 of them, so got it right for 4, and then missed 2. So it's a net +2 so far in the hits. So it's it's still sitting in like the 86th percentile in ESPN pick'ems. It's 24-8 at the moment, about the same as the market. So we'll see how this goes, especially with all the quarterback injuries going on. As for the Madden one, I calculated the amount of time it would take for me to change all the stats I need to change. That's going to be a win totals prediction, and we will have that before the end of the season. Let's just say it's going to take a couple dozen hours.
Tyler, do you have any model updates?
Yeah, so I spent a good, I think 2 to 3 hours yesterday repairing my in-season model that I talked about all last season. This is the model that kind of gives me a kind of total forecasted number of wins by the end of the season. So we're still in week 2, so about week 4 or 5 is when I start expecting it to have any real accuracy. So I guess for the moment, the only real interesting insight out of that is out of the 10 2-win teams, the model only sees 3 teams as being legitimate 2-0 contenders. And for, I guess, my other project model, I am going to be doing what's called a random forest. It's a form of modeling that introduces more randomness into the outcomes. So one of my complaints with my linear regression model last year is like when I would run it, it would pretty much favor the better team every time. So like you had like the Bills, the Ravens finishing the season like 15-2. It's very good at identifying the better team, but it didn't really offer too much in the form of realism. And I guess there just wasn't enough variability built into that model. So I'm hoping to have that model up here in a couple of weeks. I'm going to have to learn some Python code, but I'm pretty excited to, get that underway and get in front of all you guys.
And finally
Awesome.
predict a Bills Super Bowl.
Well, when we convene in a month, we will see if your models have held up to scrutiny. We'll see if the fantasy wins have changed. And we will see if our teams are still doing what they're doing. Hopefully mine will do better. Hopefully the Steelers would do worse. That's my hope.
9-8.
Look, bad things should happen to the team that pays Aaron Rodgers. That's in this day and age. That's my belief.
They're gonna go 9-8 purely off of Chris Boswell's foot. They're gonna go 9-8. Chris Boswell, the true champion.
He's going to kick Pittsburgh into the wild card round.
Exactly.
Well, that is it for the Amateur Hour football segment for the Balls Deep Power Hour of sports. Thank you, Adam.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Gino. Thank you.
And thank you, listeners. Peace.
9-8 Super Bowl.
Go Bills.
Sports.
All right, and welcome to our inaugural segment on the deep world of sports about the Formula One, motorsports, racing, vroom vroom, new. It is I, Adam, from the other shows. I'm joined by Chris, Zombie Pyrodactyd.
If only the engines actually made a vroom vroom. Unfortunately, these hybrid engines basically sound like a Dyson vacuum cleaner at this point.
Well, when they go electric and have to add sounds to the engine, they can make it sound however they want.
Bring back these fucking V8s, god damn it.
Ugh.
I don't care. Screw the environment. Give me oil.
Make them like those little like Formula E toy cars, so they can actually fit around Monaco again.
I looked up how they change and swap cars in Formula E, and I was disgusted.
Well, I mean, they haven't done like a car hot swaps for since like the first couple seasons. The
But I
Chargers were the
remember
whole
what
race.
I remember it was just like park the car in the garage and hop into the other car. It's
It
like
was
this is
so funny.
bull crap.
No, that was
Sucks.
great. It was amazing. I
Awful.
loved that.
Awful, awful, awful,
I
awful.
loved the first 4 or 5 seasons of Formula E. It was so good. So there's little toy cars going around the
Yeah.
track. Great
Okay.
for Monaco. Anyway, we're here to talk about the Formula One, the International Motorsports. And I guess we're the two F1 fans here.
Sure.
F1
I guess
enjoy.
so.
Well, I mean, enjoy
Fans.
is a strong word the last few years. The 2020s have not been kind to the Formula
Hey
One.
man, we've talked about it before, but this is the first time when it's been fun to watch F1 for a while. Like we've discussed this, but basically we went from Mercedes being an unstoppable monster to Red Bull plays trump card and gets Newey, and now they have an unstoppable menace. And so we've gone from one dominant performance to the other.
Oh, and also, don't forget before that you had the 4 Vettel years, which Vettel was never as dominant as Hamilton or Verstappen, but he still won every year, and they still won most of
Yeah.
the races every year.
And then even then, before that we forget about it, but Alonso was a pretty dominant racer.
For 2
He was
years.
supposed to be the chosen one, and then
Basically,
he wasn't.
it was Schumacher, 2 years of Alonso, and then you had a Wild West, which was the last time F1 was fun.
Yeah, man.
And then
Remember
early into
when
the eras.
Button won an F1 season? That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, so I think
Crazy.
I would compare this year to 2009 almost, or
Yeah,
07.
yeah.
Right, like 07,
Yeah.
08, 09. Like this is a return of that kind of racing, and it's been so nice.
Yeah. So part of the
So-
reason, for those of you that don't know a thing or two about why we're excited is for the last minute, Red Bull had the best car. F1 or the FIA screwed themselves over by putting in cap regulations in terms of other teams being able to solve the problem by just dumping an endless amount of money on their
Well,
cars.
because they brought in new unknown car design regulations at the same time they put in the cap.
And so Red Bull has had the best car and no one's been able to solve the problem. And
Funny too.
this season saw a lot of changes. At the end of the previous season, it was pretty clear halfway into the season, McLaren had a better car than Red Bull, which was refreshing. And then, so Max couldn't just continue to play video games until 3 a.m. and then go into the Grand Prix half asleep. That's something he actually did. He had to actually give a shit. And then Newey left for Aston Martin. So Red Bull's problems with their cars have mounted. This leads us to a quick little summary of the standings. Borg, what are the standings?
All right, so so for the last 3 years, the standings were Max Verstappen and then every other asshole here. But
They're
this year,
winning Monaco every now and again.
yeah. But this year, unlike last year where Max Verstappen won, was it 22 out of 24 races, something like that. We now have the two McLaren boys at the top. The senior driver Lando Norris, who's been around for about 7 years now, 6 years now. Been on for a while, and their junior driver Oscar Piastri from Australia, who this is his second season, F2, F3 champion. Before that, we are learning that Piastri has ice water flowing through his veins. He is a stone cold killer, it turns out, and he is stone cold killing his senior teammate Lando Norris, who has suffered through the long and torturous McLaren rebuild after the cratering, like the Yamcha hole that McLaren was left in after the Alonso era. And so Lando's been there the whole time, waiting for his chance, helping them get their first wins in forever a couple years ago. And now that's finally McLaren's year. Lando has a shot, and then all of a sudden his young teammate has come in and is just better than him.
I don't know.
And
I think that those performances in Canada and the Netherlands are really the Dutch Grand Prix in particular, where he got 18th and I think didn't even finish. Those two did not finish performances by Lando are really going to hold him back
oh yeah,
significantly. Whereas
that's what cost them.
Oscar's always done top 10 in every race that he's gotten. So that's really the actual reason. Um, Nonetheless, this does lead to the point of maybe storyline number one. Well, the big one is Red Bull, but we'll get to that. Is Zach Brown's just letting them fight? And normally, I'm fuck Zach Brown. I think that guy's awful because we forget that while things finally have come together, that man has poorly managed McLaren for quite some time. And so now all of his sins have been absolved, but they shouldn't. Jesus Christ. Look at like how McLaren was a teeming dumpster fire forever. But
Was that
now
him,
we've
or
forgotten
was he,
things.
or was he brought in around the time that the Honda deal fell through?
I mean, those Honda engines were actively hurting that team, so it's good that they didn't get the Honda engines again. But
Yeah,
Zach
but he was
Brown's
brought
not
in for the rebuild, right?
Zach
Like,
Brown's not good for IndyCar, is what I'm suggesting.
oh, for IndyCar, yeah. I mean, yeah, he's an asshole with IndyCar, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
I mean, he went through Michael Andretti, but that's just a culture. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, they're letting him fight, which makes for really compelling F1 content that these two guys that are on the same team basically have to compete with each other.
Well,
But
except for this last race in Italy, but that was it's
yeah,
all a whole weird thing that happened there.
yeah. So I think that the issue with Italy is that is going to get a lot more common. Is the problem with McLaren is it was cute to let them fight or let them trade who gets first, who gets second. But inevitably, you're probably going to have to pick someone. It's probably going to be Oscar, and that's going to piss Lando off so goddamn much. It's also going to give Max some ammunition to, well, if I can't win, then I will happily take the spot of the spoiler.
Yeah, which he did in. I mean, he got pole in Italy and then just drove off like the old days.
Which
But yeah, it's gonna come. I mean, right now, as of 16 races into the season, there are
8
what is
races
it here?
left.
There's 8 races left, and we have 31 points between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, with Oscar leading the championship. In a distant,
Not that much.
not that
Like
distant of a
Max
third.
is technically still not entirely out of the picture. He
Yeah,
could just become a robot again and just cruise through.
yeah.
And I'm not
Max
going to
is
discount that there's going to be something that happens in McLaren as well.
Yeah, Max is 63 points back from Lando, which assuming all three guys finish in the top five, the next 8 races is a tall hill to climb. And then further back from Max is George, who's just happy to be there. In fourth, then you have the two Ferraris, Charles Leclerc, or is it Charles
Boy,
Leclerc?
this season for them.
Whatever. And then old man Lewis Hamilton. This is
the end.
well,
Yeah, this is the end. I don't think Hamilton's going to accept where someone's put this out. Alonso's accepted his money and is happy to get paid. Hamilton would never accept where Alonso is right now.
but also Hamilton can't not drive. Like, people don't factor that in, that he's just the way he's wired, he can't not drive. Like, there's something in him that makes him want to drive all the time.
I think that it's clear he does not jive with Ferrari, which I think we all thought was going to happen. Which I guess if we're going to talk about other weird storylines, like somehow everyone predicted that Ferrari would be the second in the constructors, which is, for those that don't know, the companies get points based off of a team performance. Each team has 2 racers, so the overall performance with both of those racers gets points added to a total. Everyone predicted that Ferrari would be second, and yet you can't help but think this has been a pretty disappointing year for Ferrari. Like, people that were at least were thinking they could keep it slightly competitive, and yet
They are still in second.
by a gap
20
of almost 300 points.
by 350 points, and they're only 20 points ahead of Mercedes. So that's a tight fight for second. But they're the 5 for second. They were third last year, right? So maybe next year with the new engines, they'll turn around. Who knows? But then we have the best of the rest is Alex Albon and Williams. I'm very happy for Williams and their slow recovery from the depths of
Sure.
purgatory.
Albon's been great, and I guess the question is, I mean, obviously Ferrari was always going to go with Leclerc, but if next year that Carlos Sainz booting him in favor of Leclerc is going to look real weird if Hamilton continues to fall off a cliff.
So we'll see about that. But the main story this season is Red Bull falling off a cliff because the car started falling off. They stopped winning all the time. And then Christian Horner got outed.
Yep.
There's no official reason. He just, retired. But after all the scandals and the palace intrigue and the founder, CEO of Red Bull dying last year and all of the...
Picture 76. Or is it
And-
file 76? I forget the meme, but it's the that's the image.
Christian Horner accused sex pest. And also the guy who built Red Bull up from scratch as a team and led it for over 20 years is gone, and that team is probably entering the wilderness, if I had to guess, for a bit. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because they lost Adrian Newey, their aero designer who can see air. They lost the guy who built the team, and Max is probably not a fun person to be around in that garage.
Also, it's just they have a car where only Max seems to know how to drive it. This has been it goes without saying that Yuki Tsunoda, a person that I think we were all kind of excited to see finally get his shot in the main Red Bull team. He's not going to race next year.
Oh, you think so? I mean, but who are they going to put in that car? Because Isaac Hadjar,
Anybody else?
like the next person in line, doesn't want it until they fix the car. Like no one wants that second seat until they fix the car.
I don't know who takes the seat. I think that they try to basically I think Yuki becomes the sacrificial lamb and they don't renew his contract and blame
Give
him.
them one more year until they fix the car.
So one more year would basically say that that's basically what they did with Perez is like, hey, at least you showed flashes of brilliance every now and again before we kicked you off the team unceremoniously and almost tried to bilk you of your contractual money.
I mean, Perez was there for 4 years. He's the one who scammed them. It seems like, which good for him. Yuki, they give him one more year, or they should give him one more year, while they fix the car, and then they bring in Hadjar or whoever. That's the last remaining young talent they have. It's Isaac Hadjar,
and he's been
all right.
As a rookie. I don't like his decision making.
He has a rookie, but he got a podium, which as a rookie, that's something.
Sure. I mean, he's already had more podiums than fucking Lance Stroll's career.
No, Lance Stroll's had like
one.
3 podiums.
He had one.
No, like 2 or 3. There
Are
was
you sure?
Baku. Yeah, there's
Oh,
Baku
you're right.
in
I forget about
2017, and there was Bahrain, the last race of 2020, at least.
I need the exact podium. So I think the other thing that we want to talk about is the rookies have been exciting. We've never really seen this many of them. 3 podiums. Okay. So that's made this season cool. Huh? What were the podiums for Lance Stroll?
Yeah, because there's Baku, there's Bahrain, and what's the third one?
Let me pull it up. Azerbaijan, Italy 2020.
Italy 2020. Oh, he got 2 podiums in 2020. Okay.
Yeah, he was still running the pink car.
Yeah.
So the rookies have made this interesting because the rookies have either done well or they've been spinning out and crashing the cars. And that's chaos. I love chaos.
Yeah, because there's 6 rookies this year. That's way more than usual. Usually get 0 to 2 rookies a year in F1. There's 6 now. One of them is even in one of the top teams. The second Mercedes driver
So the
is
rookies are Kimi Antonelli, Isaac Hajar, Liam Lawson, Gabriel Bortella, Leto, and
Gabriel
Oliver
Bortoleto.
Behrman. And then there was a whole situation with Jack Doohan getting replaced by Franco Calapinto, which was shitty. I get it. He wasn't doing very well, but also you at least let the rookie fucking finish the season. Come on.
There's some weird Argentine politics going on there as well with Colapinto.
Whatever. But the whole Jack Doohan situation. Like Alpine's a mess. God damn it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean they're last place in the championship, and Alpine is the old Renault team for anyone listening.
And next year Renault said we're not even gonna give you shit. You're gonna have to figure this out on your own. We're out, finally.
They stopped making engines.
That's gonna be interesting for them. I don't know how that team works with like zero Renault support, but yeah. Oh wait, they're going with Mercedes. Sorry. Okay. And technically, Pierre Gasly is the only confirmed member coming back for their team, so we'll see if they bring back Ocon. Not Ocon. Okay, blanking because Ocon is going to be on Haas,
which is a good fit for him.
Yeah, let's have the worst teammate for Behrman.
But anyway, so those are the major storylines here. To finish off this segment, the current team standings. In first place, we have McLaren by a very wide margin. They've run away with it. They're first. They've won the Constructors' Championship. Then Forza Ferrari with 280 points. Followed in third by Mercedes with 260. That's a close one. Followed in fourth by Red Bull, who had been getting first for a while at 239. So it is still a fight for second between 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Williams in a somewhat comfortable 5th place, 20 points ahead of Aston Martin in 6th, who is fighting for 6th with Racing Bulls. That's the junior Red Bull team.
Sorry, you have to say the entire name. Visa Cash App Racing Bulls F1 team.
You can't make me.
I'm gonna make you one of these days.
Followed by Sauber. I'm also not saying the full name of that thing.
Yeah, because you won't be able to use that full name in multiple races.
Soon
to be Audi, though. Soon to be Audi.
To be Audi. So those 3 teams are fighting for 6th. Followed in 9th is Haas, which is perennial 9th place Haas, and then Alpine, which is a dumpster fire this year.
Yeah, they have a tractor of a car. It would be better if their car was just neon pink completely, but they are cowards. Hey, Haas got the Hulkster finally got his podium, so I would say mission accomplished for Haas.
Yeah, that was very nice. Wait, no, the Hulkster is in Sauber.
Oh fuck, you're right. God damn it.
I mean, Nico Hulkenberg has been in half the teams on this grid, so
yeah, I forgot. He was also in Haas, I think, last year. Sorry,
he was in Haas last year. He's been in Aston Martin. He's done stuff for, he's been around.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm unlike you. I'm not super negative about Max Verstappen. Noted victim of child abuse. Max Verstappen. That's not a joke. He's just a reflection of like where he grew up and then also the team and the team culture he's a part of. I don't like Zach Brown for obvious reasons because I'm an IndyCar fan, but I don't hate either of the racers. This is the first time when I look at Lance Stroll.
He's funny.
Objectively. He's okay for that team as they try to figure out a car. Whatever.
He has.
I don't think there's anyone on the grid that I truly hate, is what I'm trying to say, and that's different. I don't know how you feel.
Other than hating Max, the number one Max Verstappen hater in Deep Listens. Yours truly. Yeah, no one here is really hateable. I mean, there's villains. Like Lance Stroll's a villain because he's a fail son nepo baby. Piastri's a villain because in like the Rocky Four, Dolph Lundgren. Was it Dolph Lundgren? Rocky Four?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of like stone faced murder, like will kill you without blinking kind of villain, which is fun. That's Piastri. But that's and then Colapinto has the entire I guess toxic Argentine sports fandom behind him in a weird
It's been a
way.
while since we had those Argentine fans, though, so you got to give it to them.
I mean, no, you don't have to give it to the Argentine Nazis. So yeah, the villains are mostly fun villains. You know, you don't have like a Russian oligarch son anymore, which that was a bad couple years. Bad 1 year? That's 2 years. I forget. But yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
you
the
don't
F1.
need to remind me of Mazepin. You really don't.
Yeah, Mazepin. You don't want to think about Mazepin. But yeah, that is where we are now. The upcoming races. Let me pull up the full schedule here if the site will let me. This is a very bad website. They have the next. There's actually only one race in September, turns out. So between now and probably the next time we record for this, you will have round 17 in Azerbaijan, a street circuit in Baku, always good for chaos, and then the Singapore Grand Prix in early October. And hopefully we should be back recording before the US Grand Prix, round 19. So
Yeah.
2 more races between now and the next time we talk to you, dear listener.
Hooray. You know, it's going to be fun.
You don't sound
Do you
convinced.
here's a fun fact. This year would have been the last year that they run the Russian Grand Prix in Sochi. So the contract actually would have ended this year, but boy, we're not doing races in Sochi for a reason, huh?
Oh yeah, no. Again, that's in the sucks to suck category.
See, the weird thing is I liked Sochi because it was one of the few front wheel focused races, which led to different strategies.
That is where Lance Stroll got his pole position that one time.
Yeah, it was a cool race, but boy, fuck, man, yeah, you can't go there.
No.
I would rather we go to that goddamn diamond in Vietnam.
Yeah,
Sochi.
oh man, the Hanoi Grand Prix would have been so cool.
It would have been terrible. Like that
so
design
gnarly.
was awful. But
design
also, yeah,
was hilarious. That was a gnarly, hilarious track. I wanted to see it.
it was in an F1 game, and everyone complained about how it was too hard to take turns on it. But yeah, we are excited to talk to you about Vroom Vroom cars, dear listener. Hopefully you like this segment.
So we never established how we're going to do segues here. So until next time, on to the next segment. Do 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 do.
Fuck Monaco.
Sports.
Wowzers. I guess I'm the host this time for the first time ever.
So it seems.
All right, so I guess we'll do a countdown from starting from 5, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, dear listeners. It's time to delve into the wild world of sports with this segment. Maybe the more bizarre of the sports segments here. We're here to talk to you about big, beefy dudes slapping each other, smacking each other, and running around in outfits that look like diapers. That's right. We convinced the Sports Podcast Project to include a segment about sumo wrestling. I, Chris Zombie Pie Redacted, for the first time in Deep Listen's history, am your host as we look at big, beefy men smacking the crap out of each other. I'm joined by the only other person in the Deep Listens network that cares about big, beefy men slapping each other, Jeff Electric Viking. Rudd. Something. Jeff.
Yes.
What
I said the thing. I did the thing.
You did the thing? Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Did it pick up or was it too loud?
I don't know.
Did my Hakayoi get noise gated out of Craig? Because if
It
so,
maybe have
Craig,
gotten noise gated.
well then allow me to gently say Hakayoi.
Yay.
That's how it goes in the show. That means more or less y'all start getting on top of each other now.
Yeah.
They say it when the boys hit. Yes, it's September, and that can only mean one thing. That means the third of 3 annual Tokyo-based sumo tournaments is about to kick off, specifically on the 14th of September, which will be for the rest of the world very late on September 13th due to time zone shenanigans. So, starting whenever this podcast is issued, for the next 2 weeks, there will be daily sumo updates from, noted sumo pirate YouTube channels. And whatever the JSA decides is okay to release.
They have a new segment on YouTube, Sumo Primetime. The problem with Sumo Primetime on YouTube is that it usually comes out, I would say, 2 to 3 days behind. If you have NHK on your television package, that's probably your best bet. I find their highlight show as well as their, block in which they show all of the good stuff pretty good. Depends
pretty
on who's on commentary. I still don't know why NHK refuses to bring back color commentators. It seems like there's still just one person in the booth. And as much as I like Murray, he's getting very old.
The thing is, this is kind of a general comment on being a person in the literally just the not Japan part of the world who's interested in sumo. Is the Japanese Sumo Association, the official organization that oversees professional sumo in Japan, which is to say it's not the only sumo org in the world. That organization seems actively hostile to anyone outside of Japan being interested in the sport at times, to almost to the point of hysteria. Now, I understand being protective of your product to an extent, and I'm willing to bend an ear to people talking about, I literally described somewhat piratey streams of this stuff or whatever, but there's interest and they seem very keen on not catering to that.
Sure. I mean, multiple YouTubers have gotten their channels deleted, even tournaments or boss shows prior to this one. Jason Sumo now just does a summary for every major day or maybe couple of days and has relocated his entire video presence to Patreon. And the other pirate streams don't really. Well, one of them basically moved to Kick, which I am not going to do that. I will not follow you, but I understand why you would do that given the circumstances. And then another one just has decided I'm going to use goofy names to try and trick the JSA, which usually works for about a couple of matches and then they get bopped.
Yeah.
So
Makes it really fun.
yeah, but luckily they have this Sumo Primetime show, which gives you the juicy bits, albeit a whole 2 to 3 days late. But let's talk about the actual sumo. We have 2 Yokozunas, 1 Ozeki, 2 Sekewakis, 2 Komosubis, and then a bunch of promotions. Though only one of these promotions seems to be someone who has not been in the top division. I guess we'll go through some basic vocabulary here. The person up the
Please.
top of the what is called the Banzuke. Banzuke is the list of sumo wrestlers that wrestle in a division. The top division is Jeff. What's the name of the top division?
For crying out loud.
Really?
Why is this gone from my brain? Look, I've been busy buying a car. Makuuchi.
Yes,
Makuuchi.
Makeuchi.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if you could get it. So,
Yeah, sorry.
there's certain segments here. So the very top division is going to be any wrestler who is a Yokozuna. We have 2, mercifully. One, Hoshishoru, and then the other, Onosato. both of which have kind of been struggling to maintain their status of Yokozuna. Now, obviously, you can't get demoted out of Yokozuna. You can have the JSA or the Japanese Sumo Association write a strongly worded letter saying you haven't lived up to expectations. That's the best that they can do.
Is, is Onosato struggling? He went 14-1 in May and 11-4 in July.
I think people wanted someone. They wanted a Yokozuna that could actually win the tournament. Is the issue after Hoshisharu clearly has
Yeah.
had injury troubles the last couple of tournaments. Now, admittedly, his first tournament as Yokozuna, he got 12-3, which would be a pretty good record. We wrestle in the world of sumo. For those dear listeners that are not familiar, 15 matches.
In the top two
Unfortunately for
divisions.
him,
Yeah.
yeah, there's Juryu which only does 7. Unfortunately for Hoshoshoru, Onosato went 14-1 and got his promotion to Yokozuna, and they were setting them up for July to have this big rivalry, Hoshoshoru, Onosato, and then Hoshoshoru loses 4 matches and only wins 1 and has to sit out the rest of the tournament with an injury. So it's not really been good. That's kind of one of the major storylines, is if Hoshoshoru can come back and at least make a Yokozuna-esque performance here. It sounds like he's doing okay, but I don't know. It really will come down to, is his shoulder okay? It seemed like it was his shoulder.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see from that, because we've been around these blocks, Jeff, before, where exciting Ozeki gets promoted to Yokozuna, injury besets them, and then it's a depression factory.
Yeah. And
I'm
Hoshoryu
referencing one
was
specific one, but yes.
Hoshoryu was kicking around for quite a while before he got promoted up. I mean, he was kind of a regular top flight Mikuchi down into the, high, the 3 higher ranks basically for a while before he got promoted to Yokozuna. That is to say, he's got a lot of miles on him. He's a very, very aggressive, very grapply, strategic guy. Takes a lot after his uncle, the famed Asas Shoryu. I get the sense that Asas Shoryu seems like kind of an asshole in real life, and
yeah, he
I
did.
have every
He also
reason to think
didn't take the citizenship route. It's when
Yeah.
he got booted for bad behavior. He's like, "Fuck you! I'm going back to Mongolia."
Yeah.
And that was
To
it.
kind of sidecar everything else we're gonna say, I'll put 2 sidecars here. Actually, one of them's pretty quick. I've been kind of out of the game for a minute, so this is me kind of stepping back in. So I maybe have a couple questions here in this brief segment we're gonna do. The other one is, I think, the more interesting sidecar, which is Hoshoryu continues a not unbroken but nearly unbroken chain of Mongolians being at the top of this chart. That stretches back to when I started watching. Hakuho, who was Yokozuna for many years,
Also
Mongolian.
the GOAT.
Teruno no Fuji from Mongolia. Going down the list here, Kirishima is Mongolian. Takayoshi's not Mongolian. He's actually from Japan, but he's half Filipino. There's a number. I think Tamawashi's also from Mongolia.
Yeah,
off
he
the
is.
dome.
But he actually recently got his citizenship.
Okay. But he's still look, that matters. And that's important. That's a huge step for him in terms of stuff. But practically speaking, I can't speak for everyone in Japan, but I'm going to wager to a lot of Japanese, yeah, he's Mongolian though.
Yeah.
There's been a certain amount of hair pulling, I think, within the JSA over the success for the last decade of those darn foreigners in the sport, and I'm kind of at a bring them on, please.
That said, I do like Onosato. I want to make this very clear. I understand that he is the chosen one in the minds of the domestic sumo base or sumo fans. I like the way he wrestles, though.
Yeah. And he's clear. I mean, the records don't lie. Hakuho at some point said a 12-3 record is true, Yokozuna level sumo. So 11-4 follows a little bit short of that mark. But I mean, 11-4 at the top of the chart, where you're functionally fighting the top half of the Banzuke, exclusively, and you go over 11 of them, crazy impressive.
Yeah.
Like he's got shot. Like he absolutely should be where he is.
So we've got 2 Yokozunas. It will be interesting to see if Hoshoshoru can at least recover some form of his to where he is performing well, at least with the Sanyaku rank. Problem is his last tournament, he was even losing against the Maigashira, which is the bottom portion of the Banzuke in the top division. So we only have one Ozeki, which is Kotozakura, but the interesting thing here is that Wakataka Kage got 12 wins in May, 10 wins in July, which means if he gets 11 in this tournament, he will become an Ozeki for the November Boss show. So 11's his magic number, and it'd be great to see him get that promotion. He's never gotten above Sekewaki.
Yeah, he's got really rotten injury luck that's kept
He's
him out of
had
there.
really bad injury luck. The last time he basically destroyed his bicep.
Like
or
2
some
years
sort
ago
of
now, right?
some sort of pectoral or bicep issue where he needed like genuine surgery and was booted all the way down to the lowest rungs of the divisions. And then he's come back and he looks pretty good, except, he is a smaller dude. Which will be the big question is if he does get to Ozeki, can he make the leap beyond that? But Kirishima is now in Sekewake. He's been coasting along in that area there. You
Makes his,
mentioned the
8,
statistics there, but he would. No Mongolian has reached that high and not at least gotten up to Ozeki.
Yeah.
So we will see. I would like to see him, but. And then in the probably by far the hardest division of, or the hardest part of Komosube and just the Banzuke in general is Komosube. So we've got Takayasu. We've talked about how Takayasu does well in a tournament, and then he realizes I need to go back down to do well again. So I think this is going to be another downward performance for him. He'll probably do his best, but play it safe so that he doesn't get injury trouble.
I was going to lead off with this question and didn't do that, but now I'll ask it because I am a lover of Takayasu. He might be my favorite sumo wrestler, and I'll tell you why. Not only is he like, a big fat Hapa Filipino dude, and I love everything
Who's
about
super
that.
hair suit, by the way.
He's a hairy motherfucker and does nothing with it. He is the hairiest man out there. He looks like that's a goal for me, and I'm rocking quite a bit of hair.
Yeah.
That said, he's a heartbreaker. He has broken my heart countless times.
I don't think we're going to see him take the Emperor's Cup anymore. I think he had his last shot.
He's one of the older men on this platform. Is the other?
I would like to see him have a Tamawashi moment where he just comes out of nowhere to get another tournament.
That was
because,
God, the Tamawashi tournament from a couple years ago was so good. So good.
Yeah, where he figured out the trick with Teru Fuji, where it's like, how about you go low and I just smack you on the top of your head and push you down?
Yeah.
How about I do that? How about I just do that?
Yes, a couple King Hippo like weak spots that he found.
One of the smartest guys there, and also he's still doing his marathon thing. He has not pulled out even when he's been horribly in pain. So it's good to see Tamawashi. I think this is the highest he'll go for a while, though. But
going all the way to the bottom of the chart, I'd like to point out another foreigner who's here. Had quite a bit of a fall between May and July, but managed to stick around despite having a Make Koshi, so a losing record of 7-8. Shishi, the Ukrainian sumo wrestler here. This is interesting because one of the only European guys playing at this level still. 2, one of the only other Europeans here is, I believe, Roga.
Yeah.
Who's from Russia. And this leads to, unfortunately, 3. The JSA has more or less positioned these two to kind of have to fight a couple times over the years.
So much so that the audience has groaned audibly whenever they have announced that Roga and Shishi are fighting. It's like, fuck, guys, we know what you're doing here.
Yeah. Neither of them are, I mean, look, they've both made it to the highest level of sumo insofar as they fight in the top flight. They both probably belong here, somewhere in the bottom half of this list, I would say. Like, their records kind of bear that out.
I would say that, me personally, I think anyone with a Makikoshi at 17 should go down. I do realize that they booted a historic number of people down below to the lowest rungs.
Yeah.
You had people who literally went 0 and 15 due to injury.
Yeah.
So I get it, but also I actually thought Shishi should have been booted to
Yeah.
Juryo.
Well, and so here's, like, you know, we've said the word Banzuke several times. So this is actually a really complicated bracket system that has been used for centuries. And one of the dumb features of it is they try to balance it in this way. So there are functionally 40 spots on this list at the end of the day, and they're divided into two halves. So you have ranks 1 through 17, and there's 2 of each of those. And then there are 2 Komosubi, which means like little badass or something, like the Komu's like this character for little. And then Sekiwake, there's 2 of them. And then there's 2 Ozeki. And there, as far as the JSA is concerned, as far as tradition is concerned, there has to be 2 of each of these. There doesn't functionally need to be a Yokozuna. As it happens right now, they're in a position where they have 2 Yokozuna and 1 Ozeki. So to make this work out, one of these Yokozuna, presumably Hoshoryu, is functionally going to be like Ozeki West as opposed to Kotozakaru, who's going to be Ozeki East. Well, that unbalances the whole thing. So in May they did this, and they're doing this month as well. They've added an 18th tier below the 17th tier of the Makuuchi rank, and Shishi is in that 18 East spot. Now, if that sounds like confusing and chaotic, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's
it
pretty
is.
dumb.
Also, who gets demoted and who gets, just to, I'll say this little piece. For those wondering, how did they decide? Is it some sort of math problem? No. Everyone in the JSA, which is a bunch of old dudes, gets into a room and they discuss, yeah, he should go down.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, does anyone disagree with me? No? Okay, he's going out.
Yeah.
And then that's how they
generally speaking, if you can hit 8 wins, you are not going to go down. And I say generally because I feel like every once in a while you can hit 8, go 8 and 7, and they'll go, yeah, but a lot of people lapped you, bud, so you're actually going to go down a rank anyway. So that's like the only guarantee in life. I don't want to sidecar too often here. I don't want to make the segment too long, but when people talk about the Yokozuna match fixing scandal from about a decade ago, it basically had to do with that. It was several sumo wrestlers quietly being like, hey, if you take a fall from me, I'm going to hit my 8, and then my winnings are going to be better, and I'll fucking give you a cut, and then I'll pay you down the road. And basically people going, okay. And by people, I mean, dozens.
It was a lot more than that. And one of the solutions, because I've had to explain, like, well, what isn't the map? They've kind of dealt with this to where they now have done, as Jason Sumo on YouTube and also on Patreon has said, the easiest solution that the JSA has done is to set up what are known as Darwin matches. So if you are 7-7 and you're looking to win and avoid a losing record in a tournament, you are most likely going to be paired with another wrestler who's looking to avoid having a losing record, and then strategically placing people.
Which honestly seems like a kind of obvious solution.
That they didn't do.
When you consider, yeah, the hard-headed fucking batshit insane old men clinging to 17th century traditions around this. Yeah, of course they weren't. Anyway.
So, only a couple of other storylines that I would say that are interesting going into this September Boss show. We have Ao Nishiki, who is in the Komosubi part of the Sanyaku rank, which is the lowest rung in the top tier divisions where you're not just a number. He has, since his debut, always gone 11-4, which is a very, very good record. Unfortunately for him, Komosubi is the hardest part of the division because you have to fight all the the Ozekis, the people in Sekiwaki, and then you get to wrestle the lower ranked people in Maegashira. So it will be
They really
interesting to
make
see if
you
he can
earn it.
keep his. It will be interesting to see if he can keep his momentum. What were you saying, Jeff?
They really make you earn it at that point. You're absolutely right. And by earn it, it's worth noting that there's like lad prestige and slaps on the back. And then there's very very upper scale salary men who are willing to buy you a lot more sake and shit on the back of your reputation.
Maybe
after
in a
certain
future
level.
segment we'll explain what the fucking envelopes are, but we won't get into
Yeah.
it this time.
But this all also translate literally to just money too at the end of the day. Like you are just getting paid more at this rank. So like they kind of expect more of you.
So the only confirmed person who's probably not going to be wrestling in this is going to be Takara Fuji, which is unfortunate because he apparently has gotten shoulder surgery. He's still in the Banzuke for the main division, the top tier division. It's just he has not fully recovered. The person who won in July saw the biggest bump, a whole 10 ranks. That is Koto Shoho. He was originally in. I just saw him. He was originally Maegashira East 15 and is now
Fifth?
a Maegashira 5 East. The demotions were Endo, one of our who just was hurt, so he didn't even compete last tournament. Chiyoshima, Naomi, Kaio, and Kotoeo. The promotions are going to be Shonana Umi, Tomokaze, Nishikigi, Ryuden, and Hitoshi. So that means that of our promotions, only one, Hitoshi, is going to be new. Everyone else has previously been here, but unfortunately not really cut it. I think Ryuden is maybe the more, I would say, notorious example of a person who can always get into Maegashira for like a tournament too, and then gets booted back down to Juryo. And then he always immediately is like a cork. He pops back up.
Yeah, I like Ryuden and I like the way he fights, but I think he sure looks better against other up and comers in Juryo, and I think that probably says something about the actual, smell test. Pretty good in practice, gets clocked pretty quick when he gets up to this level. As far as I don't if they put out the actual day one matches.
Let me check, and so maybe you can say something. I'm going to go to sumo.org.jp.
Well, here's what I'd say.
No information has been posted.
So I was thinking, what are the good matches going to be? So here's the other part of this equation, right? A typical sumo match, like to give you an idea, there are formal rules to take a break if a bout goes more than 4 minutes. It's pretty much in the rule code where they will pause, literally let everyone kind of have a beat, and then the referee will put the wrestlers back together in the hold that they were in and then have them start again. Which is to say, if a match goes more than 4 minutes, you are seeing something truly weird, and most of these go, honest to God, probably about 15 seconds. So it's not like which match should I see? It's like you should watch several of them. You should watch the entire Makuuchi show. Yeah. Because everyone's going to fight. Everyone in theory is going to fight 15 bouts, and they are all quick. This is why the edited version of these shows tend to be kind of awesome, because it's not a lot of chuff. And when you go in person, it might be a little less awesome because it's actually a lot of chuff. It's a lot of chaff.
It's also really fucking hot. Holy shit, it's so hot.
The Osaka tournament that happens in July.
Don't go to the one in Osaka in July. It
looks miserable. It looks miserable.
Nagoya
on
is
TV.
the one that's miserable. Holy shit.
Oh, you're right. It's the Nagoya. Yeah. No, the Osaka is in March. Right?
Even that one's hot. I've only done the Osaka one.
Huh. I want to go. I want to go to the Fukuoka one.
It's worth it, but also pay a little extra for tickets so as that you don't have to sit on those cushions. They're not comfortable.
Yeah. But that said, who are you looking forward to see the most this tournament?
I got to see if Wakatakikage can get an 11.
Yeah.
Because if he can get Ozeki, then he can probably get Yokozuna. And that's someone that I really would like to see pull it off. It's just he's cursed with his injury problems.
Yep.
And then, like I said, I have to see if Ao Nishiki can keep his momentum. I think he's going to take a bump. I think that him getting an 8-7 would actually be a pretty good result for him. Because now he's fighting with people who are older than him and more experienced than him.
For me, I always love watching Ura. He is a very creative
You like seeing him do
wrestler.
the twirls and the tumbles, huh?
Yeah, he is the most gymnastic of these guys by a mile. To be honest, I've not seen a lot of Onosato matches, but I can say comfortably Ura's probably could beat him just for the sheer. He just about German suplexed someone a little while ago, like a couple years ago. So love watching his bouts. I think Tobizaru, for similar reasons, can be quite a bit of fun. If you want to see someone who I'm surprised isn't dead yet and will probably, this is kind of grim, but let's enjoy him while he's still around. Meisei bouts are good.
Yeah,
he's a guy who leads with his head a lot.
He clunks a lot.
Yeah.
Meisei, I felt better about him during Pandemic Sumo, where he was like physical guy, but boy, yeah, Meisei doesn't look good. And
the last tournament that Hakuho ever fought, Meisei was his first bout, and Meisei, honestly, of those 15, he won all 15 matches. I think Meisei got the closest. I think Meisei really did. That said, he's probably where he needs to be on this bracket today. I've been kind of on a skid, but like the highlight's going to be Hoshoryu. Like I think he is a Yokozuna for a reason, but he's also like honestly probably he fights the most pissed off looking.
Apparently he's a nice guy in person. Like he's made it very clear he doesn't actually have any beef with anyone. It's just he's got that pissed off look whenever he wrestles.
Yeah,
I do
kind of
think
makes sense.
That
you probably need to get into it a little bit.
But. I mean, remember when was it Ura or Meisei got like reprimanded for like laughing or saying, "Yeah, what? Oh wait, shit! I'm not supposed to be excited when I win."
I know that happened to Hakuho, but that was probably a.
I mean, Hakuho was a bit of an asshole where he would like literally scream in people's faces after like throwing them. So he deserved.
I think you're describing an Ura thing now that I'm thinking about it.
That Ura? That might have been Ura. Yeah.
Because the thing is, he looks like he's having fun.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, if not smiling, he looks very comfortable out there.
Sure.
And he will beat you different ways. He really doesn't mind. He'll push you on the ropes. He can slap. Like he can kind of do all of it pretty well. So yeah. It should be fun. I would recommend this ought to be. You could say this about pretty much every one of these, but a fun story. You can always find some sort of storyline. These tournaments happen every 2 months, and there's never really a bad time to jump in. So give it a shot.
Yeah.
Like I said, Japan's actively hostile to you trying to watch this, but life finds a way.
Life finds a way. I think that, and on that note, we'll call it done. And we didn't even bring up the topic of Henkas. Thank merciful Christ.
I'm looking forward to talking about Henka next time.
Yep.
Sports.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the first edition of the Deep World of Sports. Thank you for giving it a listen. Let us know if you enjoyed it. You can get in touch with the show, deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com, deeplistens.libsyn.com. You can hit up our comment sections, deeplistenspodcast.bluesky.social. That's where we are on Blue Sky, and you can support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. Till next time, peace!
Hey guys, this is Jeff, your Deep Listens correspondent, here to talk to you about the latest and greatest news up in Canada for 3-down football. We'll be talking a little CFL, and we'll be talking a little U Sports, collegiate football here in Canada. They've given me a whole 90 minutes to actually talk about this, which is really nice. So I suppose we can, with that sort of luxurious time, lead off with U Sports action. So looking at the schedule, this week coming up Friday, September 19th, we got a good matchup in the RSEQ. Will be Montreal will be playing McGill. And then out west we'll have a doubleheader. At 6 p.m., we'll have the Calgary Dinos against the UBC Thunderbirds. It'll be at UBC. And then it'll be an all-Saskatchewan match there at 7 o'clock Central Time. So it'll actually be before, I believe. And that'll be between the University of Regina Rams and the Saskatchewan Huskies. And then Saturday, we actually kind of go across the country. We got, St. Mary's will be playing St. FX out east in the Atlantic. Then we've got the Laurier Golden Hawks will play in the Ottawa GGs. Guelph Griffins at McMaster. Toronto Varsity Blues will be hosting Windsor. We have a RSEQ matchup that will be between the Laval, Rouge or at Concordia. And then Carleton will be at York. That'll be kicking off at the same time as Leeds at Waterloo.
Sports.